Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the manufacturer Minichamps. Now Minichamps make predominantly supercars, some hypercars in 118 and 143 scale, and I'm going to be saying why I would never buy a Minichamps model ever again. Now, just to clarify, Minichamps do make adequate model cars, but I don't feel they justify their price point for the level of detail that Minichamps provide. So, for example, today we're going to be looking at the Mclaren Mp4-12C made by Minichamps and the Bugatti Veyron Supersport made by Minichamps as well. Now, personally, I don't think Minichamps has a patch on Auto Art signature models, and believe it or not, they are roughly in the same price range. This Mclaren Mp4 12C cost me £200, and this Veyron Supersport here cost me, you can still see that, I still got the box, £190. Now that is an awful lot of money for this model car, and I'll show you why in a minute. So these models in essence cost £200 each from new. Today they're probably worth less than half of that. So they don't hold their value as strongly as Auto Art signature models, and the detail is just nowhere near as good as Auto Art signature models or Auto Art models in general, even though Auto Art models cost around £200 as well. So overall, I haven't done any in-depth reviews on these model cars, but this Mclaren Mp4 12C that I've got on the turntable, Auto Art signature made a Mp4 12C. Unfortunately, I don't have one of them in my collection, but I've seen the videos and I've seen the pictures of it, and it is an awful lot better than the Minichamps version. If I was looking for an Mp4 12C right now, I would honestly get the Auto Art signature version. Don't consider the Minichamps version, even though that you can probably get these for about £90–80 now on eBay. I still think you should spend a little bit more money just to get a better model car, and one that will probably be the same, or if not a little bit more, a few years down the line. So firstly, this Minichamps model, the only thing that I'd probably say is okay with it is the paintwork. I think this I believe volcano orange looks okay. It's got a nice good fleck in the paint. The paint is quite depth, and I think overall the exterior paint is okay. It's for the value that this model car that I paid for it anyway. So firstly, the metal mesh around the grills, there isn't any, it's just plastic. All of this is plastic. If you can see that I've got my light on it, there's no metal mesh here, and I think this looks really cheaply done here. I don't think there's any detail around the front splitter, and it's just nowhere near as good as Auto Art signature models. The badge is a sticker. It's an okay sticker, but it's nothing special. The headlights are done okay, but I think there's a lot of detail missing out as well around here. I don't think they've replicated it as accurately as off the real car on the headlights. The wheels as well are awfully done. If I had to give a score for these wheels, it wouldn't be much more than a 3 out of 10 or something. Firstly, I do give Minichamps credit for the Mclaren text and logo on the calipers. That's good. And the Mclaren badge on the centre nut. But other than that, everything else is poorly done. The calipers are poorly done, the wheels are not very nicely done, and the tyres are like plasticky as well. They're not. It just doesn't fit well with the overall model car. And you have to consider this model cost me £200, which is about $250, $260. So it's an awful lot of money, and I think the wheels should be a lot better. You can get Auto Art signature models for the same price, and they'll have a substantially more detail on the wheels. So if I take this around, this is a fully opening die-cast model. Everything does open up, so the doors open up. There you go, you can see an okay amount of detail in there as well. I mean, on camera, like I'm showing you now, you may think that looks okay. You can see a fair amount of detail, the steering wheel looks okay, the pedals, the paddle shifts, the dials, the centre dash, the buttons on the centre dash, all looks okay. But whenever you get up close to it and you start touching things like this and the seats and the steering wheel, it's all plastic. There's no other type of material in that interior. There's no, like for example the Auto Art models, they'll have like a nice leather seat, they'll have carpets, they'll have miles better quality of interior and materials used in the interior as well. This all feels very plasticky, and there's just a lot of stickers everywhere. Stickers cover up everything on this model. It's just, it looks okay on camera, and I suppose that's okay if you got it displayed. But if you put this this model next to an Auto Art signature model, which I'll be doing shortly, it's just night and day between the two models. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, do you like Minichamps? Do you prefer them over Auto Art signature models? I think the interior is another 3-4 out of 10. Overall, I think it's good, but it's just no quality of materials in that interior. It's all plastic and all covered in stickers. You might sound a bit harsh, but that's just my verdict. I've owned a lot of cars over the time, and it's just how I'm seeing it anyway. Now, the rear of the model, again, here is the only thing that's got metal mesh on the car. Now I know on the real car all these were opened for cooling for the engine. This is all plastic, all black plastic around the rear of the car. There's no mesh, and it just looks very plasticky. And the overall weight of the model as well is one thing that I can't convey on camera, but it just feels so light compared to an Auto Art signature model like a Zonda R or an MC12 or the equivalent to this. It's just a lot heavier. You can tell that the materials used by Auto Art are a lot more realistic, and they use proper die cast metal, but this does feel light, and that's just because there's just not a lot of different materials in there, so it's all very cheaply done. Now, the engine bay, this is where it gets really upsetting, but I'll show you it anyway. Not the best looking engine bay in the world. Now I know the MC12, the MP4-12C engine is not the prettiest, but I think Minichamps could have done a better job with that engine bay. There's no carbon fibre. There's hardly any detail on the engine bay, and I'm not really going to go into any much more than that. That is it. I mean, I don't know what else to show you with that. That is it. It's hardly anything there, and for £200, that's awful. That is absolutely awful. Let me know again if you think I'm just chatting absolute rubbish. I'd love to hear what you think from Minichamps. It'd be quite interesting. I did buy these about 5-6 years ago. I used to like the Minichamps, but now looking back and comparing their quality over Auto Art, I will never ever buy another Minichamps model ever again. And this is just my opinion, my advice. There's just nothing that would make me buy it. Even in here, in the grills here, there's nothing. Plastic, no details on the exterior. The wiper, again, doesn't really do much for me. Very plasticky. Overall, it's just the quality of materials used are poor. The overall fit and finish of things are poor. And I could show you for an example. I mean, look how much this mirror sticks out of the A-frame here. That is poorly done by Minichamps. This has been in the box for a few years. I mean, this is as good as I bought it, and that is what I mean by overall fit and finish of the model. You wouldn't get that on an Auto Art model. I've owned 14-15 Auto Art models, and the overall fit and finish are miles better than this. Let me know if you've got one of these models and you like it or you don't like it. I'd love to hear from you, hear your verdict on the model. But that's my overall opinion on the MC12, on the Mp4-12C by Minichamps. Absolutely does nothing for me. I was considering selling this model. If you're interested, I might sell it to you. But overall, I'd probably give it a 3 or 4 out of 10. And the price of the model as well. It's just really sad. Looking back, I wish I never have bought it. But as collectors, you all make mistakes and you all buy cars that you're not entirely familiar with down the line. So that is the Mp4. Now let's move on to Minichamps Super Sport by. Okay, so we're back with the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport by Minichamps. Just like the Mp4, I will walk you through this model. I think it's slightly better than the Mp4, but overall I think it's still miles off the Auto Art equivalent and miles off the price of the model as well. I mean, again, this model cost me £200, about $250, and I will walk you through why I think it's way overpriced and why the detail is quite poor from Minichamps. Okay, so the headlights are done adequately. Again, there is sufficient detail there. You can see the little LED lights around the bottom, and I think the overall quality of the lights are done adequately, as I've said. I don't think there's as much depth as the Auto Art one. I think the lens is a bit clearer on the Auto Art signature version, but as I've said, it's okay. Now, the problem with the front end, where it's really, really poor, is this might look like mesh because it's got this mesh-like exterior finish on it, but it's not. It's just plastic very plasticky, finished in a mesh look-alike material. A million miles off the Auto Art one. If this was Auto Art signature, this would all be in proper black metal mesh, not a look-alike material. And I just think that just sets a whole downer on the front end of the car if you're looking at it in close detail. The badge, not sure if you can just about see the badge, but that is poorly done again in black. The Auto Art one's red. I'm pretty sure the Auto Art one is red, and it's a proper metal badge, and you can see the writing clearly. You can see the EB emblem clearly. It just looks really nice as well. Really, it stands out. It sits quite prominent on the grille. That does not stand out. That is black and kind of just blends in with the this poor grille, and I just think it's just really poorly done again. Tell me if I'm wrong, tell me what you think, but this is just my opinion on it. That whole front end, apart from the lights, is well below a 2 out of 10 for me. Anyway, this opens up as well. Again, as I say, it's a bit better than the Mp4. This is finished in this nice carpet-like material, and it sits on some nice struts as well. They're not just regular hinges. They do look quite nice. I'll give Minichamps a bit of credit there, but not a lot. Sorry again if you're a Minichamps fan, but this is just my advice. Now let's go through the side again. The wheels, calipers and discs are done better than the Mp4. You can see the writing on the calipers, the Bugatti text. The discs look fairly realistic and the wheels look okay. Again, miles off Auto Art, but for the quality of Minichamps, that is adequately done. I'm using adequately quite a lot, but these cars are just adequate in every way. They're not special and they're nowhere near worth the money that they were demanding when I paid for them. Now, opening up the door, this is where we start to get similar results like the McLaren I showed you before. As you can see, the detail in the interior is okay. I mean, you can see the steering wheel's got a nice logo on, the door cars have got detail on, the seats look good, centre dash looks good, but like the McLaren, it's all plastic. There's nothing, the seats are not finished in a nice leather finish. It's got no stitching, no carpets on the footwell. The overall quality of the dash is all plastic. It's so far off Auto Art. It's miles off Auto Art. Everything is miles off Auto Art except the price. And then that's the really sad bit about Minichamps. They think they can compete with Auto Art's signature models, but I honestly think that they're miles off. The detail in this interior is just not the best. I mean, I'm saying this because I have the Auto Art signature equivalent, so I can compare it. Maybe if I didn't have that model, I might think it's okay, but I am comparing it with my other Auto Art signature Veyron, and it is miles better Auto Art at the moment. So that's what I'm saying anyway. Again, this is another thing about Minichamps. The materials used by Minichamps. I've had this model longer than I've had my Auto Art Signature Super Sport, and already the back sticker just popped off. It peeled off over time. It started to peel off from the top, it started to peel off from the bottom, and then it just popped off. That's just a sign of a poor sticker, a poor quality sticker by Minichamps. My Auto Art one, all my Auto Art models stickers are still on and as they are from when I bought them. That's just because Auto Art use good materials, and I've just never had a problem with them. But Minichamps, the quality is just not on par with Minichamps. Now again, like the front of the model, these here is in this look-alike grille material. It's not real grills at all. It just doesn't look very nice. The engine bay, you can see it's enough engine detail in there, but this does not open up. You can't open this up. The Auto Art Signature model, you can lift this whole rear clamshell off and you can see far greater engine detail on the Super Sport compared to the Minichamps version. So that's just down to how much detail you want to see in the model, bearing in mind that the prices are not exactly miles apart. If I was going to buy a Veyron Super Sport, I would go straight to Auto Art Signature. I would not even consider buying the Minichamps equivalent, regardless of how much it costs. But that's just my advice in general. Again, the wheels on this side, okay, not great. And I think this orange as well looks quite light compared to the Auto Art Signature. I think it's a bit more of a darker orange to it. But yeah, I mean, overall it's just poorly done by Minichamps. I mean, even in here as well, the I think they're called Nardo air scoops in here. Auto Art would have black metal mesh. Minichamps one, it is just black plastic, no mesh at all on this model car. And even on the air intakes here, that you can see the mesh look-alike material, but it is just plastic finished in a mesh-like cover like the grille. But hey, that's what Minichamps is, and that's why I wanted to do this video. I just wanted to highlight the quality issues with Minichamps models. I mean, please let me know in the comments if it's just me, if I've got the wrong models, if there's better models out there that I could buy. But I just think if you want to buy a good quality, fully opening die cast model, you go straight to Auto Art or Auto Art Signature, and you just don't even consider Minichamps models. If I'm wrong with saying that statement, then please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from other collectors out there on what you guys think. But that's just me, and I would never buy another Minichamps model ever again. In fact, the only model that I have which is Minichamps, which I like, is my 112 Scale Mclaren F1 by Minichamps. That model is on my channel now. I've done an in-depth review on it. It's probably the only model which I won't sell or not considering selling by Minichamps. But the 118 fully opening die-cast models are poorly done, and I won't buy them again, considering the really hard part is that, if that's focus, the price of them, way overpriced. But that's just my advice. So let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, something a bit different. I will be doing more comparison videos later on. But thank you, and until next time, take care, and please subscribe to the channel.